Right, hopefully we are live on Twitch. Let me double check that.
As we are, I think we absolutely are live on YouTube. So at the moment, Defi out front to Oscar in P2, Liam Bauman in P3, Triskay in P4, T-Show in P5, and Caterpillar has just made up a place on Vola Kongen and back up to P6 after a poor start for the Kick Sauber FRT team. And so far, Sammy Simeone right on the rear of, getting under pressure by IRT Nick down for P8 so far, but it's lap 3 out of 29.
Yeah, apologies for the pings as well if you are in the Discord, but we have switched to YouTube, and hopefully Twitch won't have this issue for next time. But Lumi is going for a move around the outside of Nick there, and can he make it stick as they're going side by side through the left-right? And there's a bit of wheel banging, but they've kept it on the track just. And Nick is going to have to make an overtaking move into the next corner. He's going to dive back down to the inside. Schumacher's going to have a great view of this. They'll leave each other the space, and that is a great move from Nick.
Absolutely big dive to the inside for the Haas on the VCAR.
It's coming back.
And that is coming back, yes, down at turn number 13. Heavy on the brakes for International Racing Team, and stays ahead does Nick for IRT, and in behind for VCAR Bajuri Esports, still putting that pressure on. But out front, Defi's lead is being absolutely cut by the SCI driver of Oscar. He's right on the rear mirrors of Defi's car, and at the moment Liam Bauman also following suit and closing up as well. So Defi might just start to struggle in these early stages as that pace started to come down a little bit more from the early gaps we saw. But at the moment, yeah, Defi might be under pressure as we head down to turn number 9. Let's see.
Yeah, let's put the timing on the top right hand side so we can see the lap times and the sector times. As Oscar, is he going to be pushing to make a move? It's quite difficult to overtake in these wet conditions. Are we going to see it dry up, or is it going to be a full wet race? Please let me know as well in the chat if the stream is fine on YouTube. I think it is. But please double check with me. Please let me know.
As here we go from Defi and Oscar. Oscar putting the pressure on down the inside at turn number 11. Is this going to be the first change in the lead for the race? Oscar versus Defi. Defi with the outside, Oscar with the inside as we head into turn number 12. Who's got the better grip? Outside line for Defi, inside line for Oscar. That's all going to change as we head into turn number 13, and swooping round the outside Oscar goes. And for Shazoo Cedars Igniters, he takes the lead of the race on lap number 4. Liam Bauman right in behind. Triskay also for PGR right in behind too. But can Defi try and make a move and try and get through once again? He's broke pretty early, and actually Liam Bauman putting him under pressure for that as Oscar broke a bit too late. He's just grabbed up a 3-second time penalty that'll be applied at the end of the race for track limits. That's going to be huge.
Oh, big dive.
Time to the inside line for Liam Bauman. That's a huge late lunge down at turn number 3, but cannot make the move. And a bit of wheel banging, but still it's going to be Defi who keeps the place.
Yeah, let's just make sure everyone is on the intermediate tyres. Deniskas has retired from the race, and these top 4 very, very close as Oscar's just put a little bit of a gap there. But as you say, he's got that 3-second time penalty, which with the grid being so close is massively going to hamper him from the end of this race.
It absolutely is, as Defi in behind 6/10 of a second, and closing on the straight, of course. But this top 4 very, very close together, and let's see if we're going to have a change in that top 4 on this next lap. But Oscar, Defi, Liam Bauman, Triskay, and then at the moment it's T-Show 2.5 behind, and Caterpillar has struggled at the start of this race and dropped back after lap number 1 after a few little incidents. And I wonder if he actually has any damage, but I think he came out relatively unscathed, so I think he's okay in the early stages. But yeah, it was a very tricky start for Caterpillar, and actually putting the pressure on Sammy Simeone as they head on to lap number 5 and lap number 6 as we head round the turn number 14 and down to turn number 1. But yes, Caterpillar right behind Sammy Simeone. Let's see if he can try and make a move on this next lap. But apart from that, he's definitely been struggling in the early stages.
Absolutely. So just reading the Discord chat there. There's a look how close it is front wing to rear wing for these top four here. It's crazy, as Oscar still has that 9/10 gap. As Ticho in behind, he's going to want to be closing up as soon as he possibly can. But with these guys in the slipstream, it's going to be difficult as Tristan early goes 2 times there on both curves.
Yeah, absolutely. Right on the rear is the Red Bull. And let's see if for Prodigy Racing, if he can try and make a move on Liam Bauman at Future Racing Team, and still trying to cover that inside line is Liam Bauman and trying to block him off defensively. But yeah, so far Triscay cannot make a move. And Liam Bauman now actually putting pressure on Deffy as we go down to turn number 11. See if he makes a late lunge, which he absolutely has. Late on the brakes for the Kick Sauber for Future Racing Team, and on the exit, battling with Prodigy Racing, but cannot make a move on Deffy, who retains his P2. But still, Liam Bauman starting to get itchy to get past on Deffy in P2. And as Oscar's breaking away out front as well, Liam Bauman might be pressurised to make this move, but Triscay is going to be right there to pick up the scraps as Oscar sets the fastest lap of the race.
Yeah, apologies for the technical issues today, but I think we're all good now. Sammy sets the fastest lap of the race, and Oscar's just eking out that gap in front. As let's have a look at Volakongan here, the Mercedes driver, in the Mercedes car, sorry, as they are chasing down Rev Caterpillar with IRT Nick as well. Where's Seth Martin down in P17, looking to make inroads in that Aston Martin car for EVR.
Yeah, absolutely. He's battling with the Peck driver. And as we head, a bit of contact between the pair, and that's Joaquin as pushed him off the track side there for Seth Martin, trying to go side by side into turn number 4, and at the back of the pack fighting for EVR. But Oscar, Deffy, Liam Bauman, as Liam Bauman is still not close enough to make a move on Deffy this time around, and no late lunges coming this way. But Max is getting past his teammate for ART, and what are you saying, Ben?
Side by side briefly between Volakongan and Rev Caterpillar in the left-right. We're going to see a move into the next braking zone. We are from IRT Nick, as he just about gets the car stopped without losing the rear tyres, and he gets that move done. We've seen some decent moves from the IRT team so far.
Absolutely, another great move from Nick, who's making his way through the order. Got past through Lumi and Volakongan. Let's see if he can try and get through on Caterpillar as well. Has been gapped by Sammy Simeone, who started to make inroads on T-Show in P5 as well. But Caterpillar, Nick, that is the battle for P7. There's Nick right in behind and going to be fighting for position on this next lap if he can try and close in to the FRT driver. And IRT, made up quite a few inroads on this one. Sieb still in this fight as well, down in P12. And let's see if he can try and make some moves like his teammate has. And let's see if he goes dry as well. I think the rain has slightly slowed down, unless that's just mid-brain saying it has. But I'm not sure if it'll dry out, but we'll have to wait and see. It's only lap 8, 21 laps to go. Still raining, and it's Oscar who leads out front.
Yeah, it's so weird not seeing the battery levels on the big graphic on the screen, but we've got to deal with it now. It's a new environment for FZR. So Liam is going for a move on the Red Bull of Deffy. He tries around the outside and forces Deffy into a late braking manoeuvre, but he can't quite get the switch back on him. Is he going to try into the next corner? He's certainly very, very close. He's going to go down the inside. Is he? Not quite. Just misses the rear. Is Tris going to take that invitation? Not quite, as he was just slightly too far behind. But a couple tenths more. Oscar out in the lead.
Yeah, they got 1.7 seconds. If these two keep fighting, then it's just going to allow them to break out front by that 3 seconds if they carry on. Sammy Simeone setting even more pace. I think it is starting to go dry. There's a few fastest laps being exchanged out there. They're probably getting more comfortable in these conditions. And might just start him to dry up a little bit more. I've got more of a racing line out there on the track as well as we go on the route down to turn number 3 with Caterpillar as well, who is still under pressure from Nick, who's gapped Volakongan. But yes, so far I think it is starting to dry out a little bit more as these cars set the rubber down. But Oscar, Deffy, Liam Bauman still our top 3, but Triscay right behind Liam Bauman and looking to make a move for PGR as we go down to turn number 9. Turn number 10 is really closing up to the rear wing of that kick. Sauber, can he dive to the inside line at turn number 9? 10, I don't think he can, so he might have to wait until that long run down to turn number 11. Can he close up in time on Liam Bauman's car? And let's see if he can try and defend from the Red Bull in behind. He's trying to move to the inside line, covered off by Liam Bauman, so Trisket, you have to stay down in P4 so far.
Yep, D in the chat since when we was on YouTube. We had a lot of issues, hence the pings in fzrracingleague. We were trying to get the stream resolved, but I think it was, I'm pretty sure actually it was a Twitch issue. It was, hang on a minute, there's a bit of action between Schumacher and Lumi there, down for the final points positions. Oscar sets the fastest lap, eking further that gap out front. 2.3 seconds now. Absolutely incredible paces. Sammy sets another fastest lap. The track is getting quicker and quicker. Is the rain slowing down? We'll have to wait and see. It's still grey skies though, isn't it, Alex?
Yeah, absolutely is. But Sammy Simeone's really closing in on T-Show's car. They got 1.2 seconds. Let's see if we can try and close up on the next lap. Try and get through. But at the moment, Sammy Simeone could be really setting pace, try and battle within the top 4. If he can try and get past T-Show as fast as he possibly can. The Peck driver currently sat in P5. But yeah, that midfield scrap from P10 downwards is absolutely hotted up so far. And it's Lumit who's at the front of it for AZR, but so far, Trisket, I don't think he'll be close enough this lap around, so I might have to just recharge the battery and go again on the next lap to gain on Liam Bauman's car. But it all depends on that exit out of turn number 10.
I see, Nick.
A big snap of the rears.
Here we go, round the outside of Rev Caterpillar. And is he going to get that move done? As Rev just lets him go there, doesn't want to get involved in any silly business, as Schumacher wasn't quite close enough to Luma to make the move on the first straight before the left right. I thought it would be, but unfortunately he was not. But yeah, 2.2 still out front now.
Yeah, let's see if sets another fastest lap and how much they're going to improve by for Oscar. They got 2.4 seconds out front and does not set a fastest lap this time round, but does Sammy Simeone down in P6 as he heads towards the line, and he's actually 6 times behind T-Show, so gained about a second on this latest lap. But yes, IRT Nick does set the fastest lap of the race as he gets past Rev Caterpillar on that latest lap and does a 27.933 and only a few hundredth quicker than Sammy Simeone's latest lap. But so far, yeah, IRT Nick looking to push on and break away from this pack and come into his own down in P7. But yeah, lap 11 out of 29. I think Seth Martin's having a bit of a scrap with Sella as he does get through up into P17. But yeah, so far, Luma, Schumacher, Sieb, Batiste and Thomas down in P14 with Max following down in P15. Also in this train for P10, Sammy Simeone is finally making that move on T-Show and absolutely flies through. He's gained 2 seconds in 2 laps and got through on T-Show, but actually makes a bit of a mistake on the exit, and that could allow T-Show to try and close in once again in the Alpine for Peck, but no, I think he's just going to stay behind. He knows Sammy Simeone's pace, and if he can try and follow him through, it could definitely improve his finishing position today. But lap 11 of 29, and I think Sammy Simeone is coming into his own at the end of this first stint. Yeah,
I'm just looking at Liam. He's dropped back a little bit down in P3. Cap is around 1.4 now. He was right on the back of Defi. I saw on the previous lap that they've just finished then. He went deep, I believe, into turn 3, that was. Surprised if he hasn't picked up a warning there for that. But yeah, he's just dropped back a little bit. Let's see if he's just cooling everything down. But I can't imagine tyres being that hot in this weather. Can just drive offline.
Yeah, I think it'll be the engine heating that'll get it overall. No worries, but yeah, T-Show, a bit of a lock up there. But I think behind, we've got Caterpillar on the back of Nick again. So Nick must have made a mistake or is struggling slightly. But let's see if we can try and break away from Caterpillar once again. He's definitely got the pace to do so. He set that fastest lap not long ago. So I don't know if he just made a mistake at turn number 1. But at the moment, it's Nick in P7, Caterpillar in P8, and the gap 6/10 of a second. Trisket closing into Liam Bauman, Sammy Simeone, and the gap 2.3 seconds. So let's keep an eye on that one for FVR as the Williams does try and close in. But yes, lap 12 of 29. Everyone's starting to settle down a little bit more. But yeah, there's a few drivers out there starting to set some really good pace and close into the next pack. I think Schumacher and Loom is the closest battle out on track at the moment.
Yeah, just getting all the stream summaries sent to my email there from Twitch, so my phone buzzing like crazy after about 17 attempts. But yeah, we're back on YouTube. Hopefully we'll be back on Twitch for next week if the Twitch issue is resolved. I don't believe it's any fault of our own, but we'll check the settings with a trusted streamer in the name of Nathan Richards, as he knows what he's talking about in terms of Switch. So let's have a look. But yeah, anyway, let's focus on the racing off of my app, as Schumacher is very, very close, probably the closest anyone is, apart from the two Ferraris, who Max is in the pit lane.
Is indeed, and one of the first people to pit out on the track, so that might be a sign that it's not going to dry out enough for slicks, but at the same time those inters will be dying very, very quickly at this stage, as it is nearly half race distance. But yes, at the moment Oscar slightly being closed in on, gap 1.5 seconds to Deffy, who did set the fastest lap a few laps ago. So let's see if the Red Bull can try and close in to the race leader. As Deffy, our pole sitter, currently sat in P2, but yeah, Deffy without that 3 second could win the race anyway, with Oscar breaking the track limits violations early doors in the race. Schumacher right on the rear once again of the AZR driver.
That's a great run. Great run.
He has got a fantastic run, has Schumacher, as we go on the route down to turn number 11. He's going to be close enough to make him. It's going to be still late dive, but I think Lumi must use a bit of battery there to stay ahead, because otherwise it looks certain for Schumacher to have the best run and traction on the exit. But yeah, the Aston Martin still struggling to get past on the AZR driver, and without the DRS as well, it is very tricky to make moves in these wet conditions. But yeah, lap number 14 for these guys, and Oscar out front still.
Yeah, Rev comes into the pit lane then. That run for Schumacher looked absolutely incredible. Out of the left-right, but you know, like you said, must have been the battery usage that made it look not so great. But Rev Caterpillar now joins Max and Thomas Laminen in the pit lane, and it's a fresh set of the Inters, fresh boots for the three drivers at the back. Let's see if they can do any sort of undercut, as this weather does not look like it's shifting.
No, it absolutely doesn't. It stayed quite similar throughout, but obviously a bit of track evolution. These drivers doing 14 laps around here, that's caused it to ramp up slightly. But yeah, confidence is another thing. When you've done 14 laps around there in the same wet conditions, it does improve confidence around the track. But yes, let's see when the front guys come into pit as well. Oscar gains slightly on this latest lap to Deffy, the gap just under 2 seconds.
Huge moment for Deffy there. There's Liam, they nearly lost the car, sorry, Liam Bauman closing right up to the back of him. That will be a code brown there for Deffy.
As going past turn number 14 and closing in is Liam Bauman. Sammy Simeone is coming into pit, as he was still closing in to the top four, but yeah, that progress just slightly halted in the last few laps, then coming into pit to try and do an undercut on the fresher intermediate compounded tyres. But yeah, he's done a fantastic job in that first stint to close up, do that top pack, and let's see what he can do on these newer tyres. But yeah, first pit stops coming in. Sammy Simeone coming into the pit lane, Nick, Lumi, Bola Kongan, Seth Martin also in the pit lane. And at the moment, Oscar, I wonder if he's going to come in on this latest lap and cover off any threats of an undercut from any other driver, but still 2 seconds out front. Deffy after that mistake. Liam Bauman only under 8 tenths behind, but yeah, still just over half race distance now, and still Oscar in the race lead, but with that 3 second time penalty, it's anybody's game as we head for the race to the checkered flag.
Yeah, 2 seconds is the gap. He needs one more, obviously, to extend that gap over the penalty margin. But like anything could happen, safety car could be Oscar's worst nightmare here, and for that matter, anyone else with a penalty down the grid. There's pretty much no chance on this grid that you pull in the 3 second gap after what, 2 laps with the pace that we've got here today.
Yeah, I mean, let's see what happens when it comes to the Oscar's also still staying out there. Triscay also staying out there. Liam Bauman, Deffy and T-Show all coming to the pit lane. But yeah, let's see what happens with the 3 second time penalty at the end for Oscar. It's definitely going to be tricky to get out of that 3 seconds to the likes of Deffy, Liam Bauman and Triscay as well when we head to the checkered flag. But what Sammy Simeone has been able to do on this latest run, he's got past on T-Show but Liam Bauman has came out ahead of Schumacher. But I think he still definitely has closed up the gap, 3.2 seconds. But I think it all depends on where Trisquet comes out, and that'll be a real benchmark to what Sammy Simeone's progress has been for FVR. But he's right on the rear now of Schumacher, closing in just under 9/10 of a second. Hopefully he doesn't get held up in the final sector. He might have to try and navigate past him down at turn 11. But yeah, the gap, 6/10 of a second. He's got a fantastic run out of turn number 7. And we'll probably use a bit of battery show to try and get through on the Aston Martin and on the Evolution Racing Team car, as he's already looking towards the inside line. Is the Williams and flies to the inside line. That was a crucial move for Sammy Simeone to get through, so he didn't get held up. And at the moment, the gap, 3.2 seconds to Liam Bauman, who's right on the rear of Duffy as well, after coming out of the pit lane.
Yeah, using all that curve on the exit, we've seen that throughout the race. I'm very surprised at that. I wouldn't have done that myself, but that's why I'm not this level of driver anymore. No, I never was.
Yeah, don't be silly. You had a few good qualified laps, call it a day.
Yeah.
But
Beat Jensen to pole, mate, kind of there, FZR. You know what I mean?
Oh, behave. Yeah, only because it started raining, but we're right.
It started raining at the exact moment I finished my lap.
I can't forget it's been raining. Anyway, Sammy Simeone has made his undercut work, by the way. Trisquet has lost quite a lot of time to the top 3 after stopping that lap later. And Sammy Simeone is already making a move around the outside. Can he make it stick as we head around turn number 3? And let's see, still side by side. It's lovely fighting between the pair. No contact made, but Sammy Simeone has to stay behind. And the FVR driver is going to have to wait. It's going a bit too deep there. It's Trisquet. And let's
hang
see
on a minute.
what Sammy can do.
Up front, top 3, look at these. Look how close they all are now. Definitely going to see some move here. Liam Bauman's going for it. Is he going to go around the outside? Is he going to go to the inside? Or is he going to stay behind and be boring? He's going to stay behind and be boring. And Sammy Simeone is not going to stay behind and be boring. He's going to go around the outside here of Trisquet, and he's going to get that move done. That sounded like that guy from Storage Hunters then.
Right, Liam Bauman, Duffy, Oscar separated by 6/7 of a second, and Storage Hunters for you there. And can Liam Bauman hunt through the storage and get that prized P2 or the race win away and take it away from Duffy and Oscar? It's all about the profit in the points, and at the moment it's going in favour of Duffy, when they all cross the line, isn't it, Ben?
Yeah. Very insightful.
Yeah, nice one, Ben. Quality, that. That's what a commentator needs.
Yeah.
Straight Q&A. Nick has set a fastest lap once again. Good stuff from Nick. He's actually closed it on T-show, but Nick does have a 3-second time penalty as well.
It's not ideal.
Yes, it is not ideal, is it, Ben? Schumacher's still the only driver not to pit out there on lap number 18. When he comes into the pit lane, I think he might be just hoping for it to go dry, to be honest, or is he just going to try and do some walls and that. But Oscar, Duffy, Liam Bauman, our top 3, 1.2 seconds, and Oscar might struggle when we get to the end to gap anyone by 3 seconds in that top 3, with Liam Bauman and Duffy following quite closely. Nick is making a move on T-show. It's quite an easy move on the exit of turn number 7.
Yeah, it was. Let's have a look back at Trisquet. Getting Trisquet as we run down after the long straight. But nothing doing there.
Oh, God. Right. Yeah, Sammy Simeone has actually been closing in as well on Liam Bauman, then 3. I think the gap was over 4 seconds, and it's now down to 3.6. So yeah, let's see if he can set a good second stint and get his foot down and close into the top 3. Trisquet has set the fastest lap. Trisquet with the Trisquet, and at the moment, decent lap actually there. Seth Martin, unsurprising, that's a 3-second time penalty. And down in P16. Good stuff, Seth.
Yeah, just a reminder as well of the points for FZR Esports Championships. There's 5 points for P1 in qualifying, 4 for P2, 3 for P3, 2 for P4, and P5 gets 1. And then for the race it is standard F1 IRL points. So yeah, there's no funky point system, there's no points for P15, P16. It is just all the way down to P10 only.
It absolutely is not funny business, and there is no fastest lap point as well, as I believe.
Yes, there's not.
As we do hand out the qualifying points, because that is when it matters, ain't it, Ben?
When it matters.
Yeah.
Oh, never mind. 1 point will be given for the fastest lap out of the top 10 classified drivers. Sorry.
Oh, so we're lying.
Sorry, I've just read my own rules.
You've read your own rules, and you've read it wrong.
I've read it wrong. Just like... Never mind. I won't get into that.
Yeah, nice one. As Defi sets the fastest lap of the race, he's actually closing in on Oscar by a few tenths on that latest lap. It's just coming under 6/10 of a second. As he said that, and he's just absolutely violated me by going over that, which is not very nice. But Liam Bauman down in P3. Trisket still with Sammy, as they're both still closing in on the top three, to be honest. So yeah, there's no real rush to get through for Trisket. I think it would be a mistake to battle with the FVR driver, because they're both doing a good job to close into that top three.
Yeah.
And yeah.
He needs to work, does Trisket, with Sammy to make sure they're in that 3 second window of Oscar out front, as they need to be within that 3 second to finish ahead of him with that 3 second time penalty. Have I mentioned he's got a 3 second time penalty?
Ben, just to remind you that Oscar has a 3 second time penalty as well, so that is probably what Sammy is trying to close in on.
Is it?
To grab that position, yeah.
Is he working with Trisket?
No, because Trisket has just dropped back.
Well, that's not ideal, is it? He needs to get within that slipstream range, but not in the dirty eight.
You alright, Ben?
No.
Long day.
Yeah, I didn't get a lot of sleep last night.
Oh, brilliant.
Yeah, back at 1:45, mate.
Oh, brilliant, mate.
Up at 6 o'clock, 4 hours. Didn't get to sleep well about 3, so you know what I mean?
Right, we don't need your lifestyle commentating, yeah? You could have a word after, yeah?
Oh, yeah.
Thomas Laminen gets a 3 second time penalty. Down in P15. Oscar, Defi, Liam Bauman, our top three today. And Oscar's got a 3 second time penalty as well.
Yeah, he has, says Liam Bauman looking to pick up the scraps. Currently in provisional P2 with Oscar's time penalty, and we mentioned. As he's going to want that race win for round one. As Sauber looking very, very good in qualifying. As Rev Caterpillar down in P9. Unfortunate so far for him. But let's have a look. Can he make up those positions in the remaining 8-9 laps?
8-9. As I think it's China next week as well, isn't it, Ben?
I think it is actually for esports. It's not for fzrracingleague. But yeah, I believe it is China, which is a good track. I like to commentate that.
Yeah, you haven't commentated it in ages. What you on about?
I know, but I do when I do it.
On his day?
Yeah, on its day, China can be a great track to commentate. Brings back memories.
Simeone's dropped a few tenths. Schumacher is still yet to stop. I don't know what his plan is. Is he just going to end? Surely not.
Surely not Schumacher. I mean, it can be done.
Yeah, play to him.
Inters can go to the end on this game.
They're going to like blow up.
It's going to be close, but I think they can.
Why is he putting that? Boring, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh well.
Let's see a zero stop. But you know, can't be all, can we? Schumacher does the sensible thing, I think. He comes into a bit late.
Yeah, I think that's any chance points over for Schumi. So let's see what happens in the final scene for him. To be honest, he hasn't got a penalty, I don't think, either. Or he might do. But you have to close in quite a lot, so yeah, I think it's getting
fresh
over.
Rubber though, fresh rubber. Dirty yet?
Yeah, he's coming behind Seth Martin, so that's probably not a good sign.
Seth will be making that a roadblock as well, you just know that. It was like, Seth Martin's going for a move here. Getting very, very close to Thomas Laminen. As he hooks it left.
Got damage.
Has he got damage?
That's why.
Oh,
yeah, how's he closing in?
Been a pop. Oh my! Seth absolutely wallops the wall.
Wallop. What a word. Definitely Oscar. We're very close at the top, but do you know what? We're going to focus on Seth Martin and give him a bit of screen time. As Thomas Laminen in behind. We'll be in behind in a minute.
Yeah, pulling away, is Thomas.
He's pulling away.
That front wing is giving the aerodynamics of a rocket ship, I'll tell you that for free.
Right.
Sell.
Definitely under 5 tenths to Oscar. I don't think he's going to try and move over to this. I don't think there's any point in the remainder of this race, but we'll have a look.
He might get it removed, so I think it's always best for in these spots just to get it done, unless he's absolutely certain he won't be able to get it removed. Plus, he drives very hot about the time penalty removal, so we'll have to wait and see what he tries.
Yeah, he got 2 warnings on lap 1, did Oscar, then he's got another 2 warnings on lap number 4 and lap number 5.
Oh.
So, yes, I don't think it will get removed.
So is he 1 away from 6? Or 2 away from 6?
I think he's 2 away from 6.
Okay.
Well,
he needs to be a bit cautious, but you know he's got basically a warning to play with from the end of this race.
Yeah. So what's happening here with Maxi and Batiste? As Batiste flies through, Max just flies onto gravel for the lads, I think. So yeah, I'm not sure what happened to Max there. Went a bit too deep into turn number 6, bit of loss of concentration there. And yeah, so Triscate is closing in to Simeone as we head on the route down the start finish straight once again. And let's see if we can try and make a move, because he is very close and Simeone's progress is absolutely halted, so to be honest, won't be a bad shout to try and get through. But yeah, this time around I think Triscate's going to stay behind once again. Yeah,
you saw Sammy in the distance there, just ahead. He pulled to the right hand side off the racing line. Was that to cool his tyres? Has he got a bit of overheating? Have they a bit warm? But you'll have to see. There's a bit of contact there.
Still going side by side there. On the rear, the Red Bull trying to make a move, and a bit squiggly business on the exit. And Simeone under a lot of pressure. They've already lost 5 tenths to the front 3, but I don't think there's any chance of them catching if they keep squabbling. And the pace has just absolutely dropped off a cliff anyway for both the drivers. But let's see if Triscate can try and make a move down to turn number 9 and to turn number 10. Simeone going to be a roadblock in the Williams for FVR, but for Triscate for PJ, can he try and make a move down to turn number 11? Let's see if he can try and make this move. He got a very good exit out of turn number 10. He's very quick down this straight, but yeah, blocking the inside line Simeone. And once again, Triscate cannot get through.
They're just so confident on the throttle. The minimum speed is so high. It's crazy. Oh, back to the inside.
Late little switch up from Triscate, getting Triscate with Simeone. Nice. And at the moment, as we head down the start finish straight once again, and still closing in, but trying to make a move in an unconventional area might not go well. And yeah, it might not pay for Mr. Triscate.
No, as Liam Bauman is back within that DRS of the top 2. As yeah, Oscar done a decent job here out front, just keeping that margin, as he will drop to P3 at the moment, which all things considered with that time penalty in such a quick grid, P3 is not a bad result.
Yeah, no, absolutely isn't. And yeah, Oscar, it's a shame that he has that penalty, to be honest, because he has run a very, very impressive race today, keeping Defit behind. And yes, it's an absolute everything needs to be at the top spot apart from that penalty. Is a unlucky incident, but yeah, we'll see what happened on lap 1, because he did get 2 warnings, so I'm not sure if he got pushed off maybe and got a double warning or something like that. So yeah, we'll see what happens and if it does go to the steward's room. But yes, let's see if Defy does win it, as he will win it out there provisionally, but as we head to the steward's room, we'll see what happens there. But Simeone, Triscate still, no one making a move, everything's settled down a little bit more. And 4 laps to go.
4 laps to go. Top 3 separated by less than a second to each car ahead. As Oscar leads the way with the 3 second time penalty. Did we mention? There's lap 26 out of 29. Trisky's surely going to make the move soon if he wants to get within 3 seconds of Oscar. I think it's off the cards now, isn't it? Surely.
It's off the cards for the top 3. I think this is just a 5-4 position between Simeone and Triscate. But PJ are looking like they're going to have a fantastic result and lead the championship for the team, surely. with Defi and Triske both P2 and P5. Olakongan down in P9 and his teammate up in P1, but obviously when they cross the line, Defi is set to win this race unless Liam Bauman can have anything in this final stint. But Triske is closing on the route down to turn number 9 and turn number 10 in that slipstream. Under 3/10 per second, needs a really good run on the exit of turn number 10 as we head down once again. Puts it very nicely on the exit. Is going to have a better run than Simeone, but not, I don't think it's going to be quick enough to try and make a lunge. As, yeah, must use a bit of battery to break a few tenths for Simeone. But yeah, Triske definitely has a bit more grip at this stage, as Samick definitely came into pit a few laps earlier than Triske's car. But let's have a look as we head on the route past turn number 14. Williams versus the Red Bull. And can he try and make a move down to turn number 1? I don't think he'll be able to. He's already on the straight. He's like a rocket ship, is that Williams. And the Red Bull can't even get close.
Like real life. Yeah, that's all. Rev Caterpillar is in the same position as Triske. Is he going to make the move into turn 1? No, just goes a little bit deep and a little bit wide in the final corner, and that's allowed Volakongan to extend the gap to nearly over a second.
Volkswagen. He actually has got a cracking name as Volakongan. It's brilliant.
Yeah.
Love that. I hope he races every week. So
here we go.
The word Volakongan.
Triske.
Triske. Here we go.
He just pulls away. It's crazy.
Yeah, he absolutely does. He's definitely got low wings. But yeah, Schumacher's definitely made inroads down in P13. I don't think it's going to be enough for points, so he gets 3-second time penalty as well. But yeah, the amount of pulls away is absolutely mesmerising. And the only place Triske is going to make a move in an unconventional area.
Oh, no.
Has Simeone running out of battery? No, don't think it matters. He's flying away.
He absolutely is. Is that Williams is mental on a straight. Liam Bauman, when is he going to make the move? Is he going to be able to make the move at all on Defi to claim provisional race lead? We've got 2 laps to do it. We are heading on to the penultimate lap now, Mr. Bagnall.
Yeah, penultimate lap of round number 1. Not much has occurred in this first round. We've had Twitch issues, if you're going to count that. But race-wise, it's been quite calm in the wet conditions. Obviously, I think if it were dry, we'd have a much bigger DRS drain and a bit more chaos with moves. But yeah, in this final stint, Oscar, Defi, Liam Bauman are going to be our podium, but it's going to be in a different order when we cross the line, as Defi will be set to take that top spot, unless Liam Bauman is actually hit the wall slightly at turn number 5 as Liam Bauman and drops a few tenths back, and that's not going to be ideal if he wants to fight Defi. But yeah, Triske, let's see what he can do. 4 tenths back from Simeone, and once again the Williams it's got like a Ferrari rigged engine, to be honest. It's flying out front and gains a few tenths on the straights, and yeah, I don't think Triske will be able to get past her.
Yeah, it's been calm. It's been calculated from Oscar, but that time penalty is going to let him down, and it's going to let him down to P3. But yeah, he's led most of this race, to be fair, so it's a shame that he did pick up that. But Oscar's driven it well, but Defi ultimately is going to take the win for this race. This time, next lap, as we've got 1 more lap of racing action. Something astronomical needs to happen if Oscar would be to win here.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, he had to depend on if Liam Bauman and Defi would fight on the final lap or something along the lines of that. But yeah, I don't think it's going to happen, as Liam Bauman 1.2 seconds back. And on this final lap, it'll be a nice little 5.3 kilometre drive from here to the finish line. And Oscar's going to lead us across the line, but it's going to be Defi who takes that top spot. And this lap around, can Triske try and make a move? We'll ride on board as late as we can until Oscar crosses the line. Oh, a bit of contact with the ball there for Triske. And we head down past turn number 7. And once again, he is very, very close. But there we go. The Williams is still pulling away on the straight line. And yes, let's see what he can do, as he must have fantastic battery management, Simeone, because he's been fantastic to stay ahead on the straight line, to be honest. But that setup also must be very low wings, And this lap around also, yet again, cannot make the move. So we're heading to the final sector for the first ever round for fzrracingleague Esports. 10 teams, but only one man can come out on the top. As Oscar is going to round out the final corner for the Mercedes team of SCI, but he's got a 3-second time penalty. That's not going to win him the race. He's going to drop down to P3, so it's going to be Defi for PGR, who crosses the line after taking pole position, takes the race win as well, and it's full points for Defi. Liam Bauman takes P3 as what's happened to him on the final lap as Oscar gets P2. But yeah, I think he must have got a 3-second time penalty on the final lap, unless he dropped back drastically. Oscar grabbed P2.
I think he had a moment out of the final corner. I'm not too sure though. But yeah, Liam Bauman down to P3. Oscar does get something positive out of this race, despite the 3-second time penalty. P2 for him.
Yeah, good stuff for SCI to take P2 and Volakongan down in P8. Not bad points at all, but yeah, PGR will go to the top of the championship with Defi and Triske, P1 and P5. But the Kickstarter team would probably want more out of this one. FRT lined up P2 and P3, finished P3 and P9 after a miserable start for Caterpillar and Groblin on that first lap.
Yeah, well there we go then, ladies and gentlemen. Round 1 is complete for the fzrracingleague Esports Championship. And it's been good, but wet races aren't really the most exciting if it's not changing conditions, it's just long. But yeah, round 2 hopefully won't be the same conditions the entire race, and hopefully we'll see some difference of strategies and tyre wear coming into play. But yeah, make sure to join us next week as we get ready for China.
Put the time there, Ben, making sure.
Yeah, well, let me actually double check first, just so we're not telling porkies.
I think it is, so I think we should just... No, the thing is with commentary, Ben, you've just got to believe yourself.
Yeah, it is China.
There we go. Spot on. But yes, chaps, there we go. Love that.
There we go, let me grab the
I
results.
love that it's customary to just punt, I'll say, your car into the barrier at the end of a sim race. I absolutely think it's fantastic. The community as a whole understands it. It's like on Rocket League where you say left always goes, like when you cross the line on F1, you're going to punt it into the barrier. It's brilliant. Fantastic. Defi, Oscar, Liam Bauman. Top 3, folks.
Absolutely top 3.
And
let's just get this in here.
Tomorrow, lads, we go to Japan for fzrracingleague Tier 1, and it was a thriller down in Australia last week, so come and join us for Tier 1 tomorrow in Japan. There's a stacked grid for fzrracingleague Season 12, so it should be a fantastic season overall. And let's see, we can have a new race winner. Raxi won it last week in Australia. After everything tried to throw it at him, he still comes out on the top spot once again, the reigning champion himself. But yes, Schumacher did end up getting points in the end, by the way. Did creep, should I say, into P10. And a 25.9 as well. Gets the extra point for fastest lap. Lovely jubbly.
Yeah, but that is it from us. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow on Twitch if the issue is sorted for fzrracingleague racing. But yeah, there we go. Thank you very much for joining, and we'll see you next week if you're here for the esports.
Cheers, chaps.